Hello everyone. When I moved to the Netherlands, I thought the weather culture shock was one of the worst, but I was wrong. I was so shocked to know that just to go and visit a doctor when you are sick, it was totally different from Kenya. So welcome to my culture shock part 2. And for those who are new, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, From the Village to the Netherlands. And it's basically about my life experience, born, raised in a poor local village in Kenya, and growing through struggles. And even it was a miracle to make it to the high school. And what I can say, destiny brought me to this beautiful country, the Netherlands. And the reason why I started this YouTube channel is to help someone, to encourage someone who might be undergoing such problems. And again, I have this big dream to start a girls' education foundation to support those poor girls back in that village I was born in, because their parents, they are so poor, they cannot pay their high school fees. And if someone does not come to help them, they might not realize their dreams. So by subscribing, by liking, by leaving a comment, by sharing, you will have helped me so much to accomplish this big dream. In Kenya, I was used to eat 3 meals per day. Then I come to this beautiful country, a rich country, and I found out that people don't eat lunch. That was a shock to me, you know. In fact, I had quarrels with my husband because I thought probably he did not want us to cook lunch, because he did not want us to use a lot of food, because he was buying the food. But I came to learn that the Dutch people only take breakfast, which consists of a bread and cheese. You can never separate Dutch people with cheese, or with some eggs according to what they want. And then after that, they pack another sandwich, they put it in a container, and they carry it to work. It doesn't matter where you work. If you work in an office, lunchtime, you will eat your bread, and that is lunch. If you're working like in a building company, lunch break, you also sit down somewhere, you eat your bread, and everyone else has just the same lunch, you know. You cannot find people carrying warm food. When I say warm, I mean like rice and chicken. And even to my surprise, restaurants, they are open lunchtime, but you can never be served with rice or, let's say like warm food. If it's lunch, it's either salad, it's either sandwich, and maybe probably soup. So Dutch people don't eat lunch. I was like, this is a rich country, you know. Even back in Kenya, it's poor, but we eat 3 meals in a day. How comes here it's only one, you know? And actually, I can say we had a very difficult time to adjust to that system. But eventually we adjusted. Since I adjusted, there's no day I've ever eaten warm food in this country. I only eat lunch when I go back to my country, because of course everyone else is eating. No wonder that's why I put on weight. So if you are planning to relocate to the Netherlands, know that you will have to adjust to start eating bread instead of ugali. Those are from Kenya. So don't be shocked as I was. Another thing which shocked me is just to find out that going to see a doctor when you're sick, it was totally different from my country, you know. I had a problem with my knee, and when I was in Kenya, it was so bad, such that I was to be operated. But before it was done, my resident permit was approved, and we had to move to the Netherlands. So I decided to come and do it here. I was so much in pain, and I told my husband, I remember it was on a Saturday, I told him, please, let's go. I see the doctor today because the previous night I had not slept. Then he said, there are no doctors. We cannot go to see doctor on Saturday. But I'm like, do you mean there are no doctors on Saturdays? He said, yes. Okay, so when are we going to see the doctor? He said on Monday. Okay, you know, I was new. I knew nothing. So I said, it's okay. Come today. I told him, let's go, we see the doctor. No, we have to make an appointment. I was like, an appointment? Yes. Here, if you want to go to see the doctor, one, you have to make an appointment. And the doctors here, the physicians, they have doctor assistants. You make an appointment through these doctor assistants, and it is not easy for you even to get that appointment. You know, you call them, you explain to the doctor assistant exactly what you are feeling, and according to what the information you've given them, they will judge either to give you the appointment, or they can tell you, you take paracetamol, or you do and do this, and you wait for 2 to 3 days, and if it doesn't change, then you can call again, and then we book for you to come and see the doctor. So on Monday, he called the doctor assistant, and I came to the line to speak to her, and she was like, take paracetamol for 1 week, and if you don't feel any improvement, you can call again, and we book you to go and see the doctor. So I told her, I'm so much in pain, I cannot wait for more than for 1 week. She said, there's nothing else we can do. So my husband came on the line, and he pushed her so much until she had to give us an appointment. It was on a Monday, and the only available appointment was on a Friday. There was nothing else she could do because the doctor was full of appointments. And the fact that they don't work on Saturdays, and they work from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Not like in Kenya, a doctor can work from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, you know. And again, here there are no private hospitals. What we have, there are referral hospitals, and at the local, we have the clinics, which we have the physicians. So on Friday, I was given my appointment, and I went to see the doctor. I explained to him exactly what I was feeling. My knee was so swollen, and I had a lot of pain. He referred me to be taken some x-rays, and when they were out, he found out that I had what he called tear and wear. So I was happy, at least I will be taken for surgery, and then my problem is going to be solved. But I was so wrong, because he told me, you go back, take paracetamol. I told him, paracetamol, and in Kenya I was to be operated. But now here you're telling me to go and take paracetamol. He said, yes, there's nothing else we can do. So I'm like, I've been taking the paracetamol, but there's no help. He told me that go and take ibuprofen. You know, I thought I was dreaming because I'm in so much pain. My knee is swollen. And here the doctor tells me to go and take ibuprofen. That is exactly what I did, because there was nothing else he could do to me. I went to the drugstore, I bought the ibuprofen, and actually after 1 week, the pain had gone so down, and the swelling was almost finished. Within 2 weeks, my leg was not swollen anymore. I had no pain, and everything was okay. And since that time, it's like 5 years ago, I've never felt any pain on that knee. My point here is, people might say the Dutch system, when it comes to going to see the doctors always tells you to go and take paracetamol. But I'm just imagining my case. If I was in Kenya, I would have been operated. And of course, you know, when you operated, that knee can never be the same again. But here, it was just a simple inflammation, which was treated by ibuprofen, you know. So for me, I would embrace the systems. But what I don't like is that you have to call through the assistant, and then the assistant has to book for you to go and see the doctor. That one, I don't like it. Another shock I got is why the curtains, especially in the sitting rooms, they are never closed. Probably it's because we live in the village. But again, when I asked about it, they were telling me it is the culture of the Dutch people. They don't close their windows. And then I was like, what is the reason behind this? Because when I walk around, I see most of the windows are not closed. So when I asked some people, what is the reason behind this? They told me, one person told me, long time ago, when the men were busy working the ships, sailing with the ships probably for like a month or 2 months, and they left their wives back in their home with the children, there is this milkman who was distributing the milk, and if the curtains were open, the milkman, even if he had some interest to seduce that wife, you know, he could not do it because probably the neighbor is looking. So that is the reason why the Dutch people don't close their windows. I don't know whether it's true. You know, another person told me this. It's because Dutch people, they don't have secrets, you know. They are open people. They are direct, you know. So they don't see why they should hide what is in their house, you know. Probably it's true, I don't know, you know. But again, I think, according to me, I think one of the reasons could be the Netherlands is so safe, especially like in the village, you know. It's not easy to get someone to come and break in your house and steal your things. I've never heard that. There are cases it happens, but it's not common. So probably because there is no that fear, someone might come and break into our house and steal our things. Probably that's why they don't close the windows. And because we are Dutch people, well integrated, we don't close our curtain. Here it is, you know. When I got this apartment, the curtains were so expensive. When I went to Kenya, I went to Isili, and then I measured some nice curtains. They are here, but I was like, why did I have to buy them? Because we never closed them. Imagine. So that was a total shock to us. So today I've talked about 3 culture shocks. There are still more. So stay tuned, because next I'm going to talk about equality. Imagine a husband is there in the kitchen cooking, and the wife is sitting in the sitting room, probably chatting. That is very normal with Dutch people. I will still also talk about young people dating, young as 16, dating. 17-year-old girl has a boyfriend and they sleep in their parents' house. And it's very normal. And a lot of other culture shocks. So stay tuned And please, for those who have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do that. Like, share, leave me a comment, because by doing so, you will have helped me so much to accomplish my big dream of starting Girls Education Foundation, so that I can help those poor girls. So thank you so much and be blessed.